Hi, everybody. This is Charlotte Bergman with the Political Talk of Charlotte show, with a special show on Saturday, November 15th, 2024. We are going to discuss the two major cabinets, most recent cabinets, the Biden cabinet and the potential Trump cabinet that is coming up. So, before we get into this, let's get our introduction started because we can't get started until I get a chance to really get hyped up. Thank you all for joining me today. This is Charlotte Bergman, and this is Political Talk of Charlotte. And I want to thank you all for taking time out of your Saturday when you could potentially be spending it with your children to join my show. I hope it's going to be exciting for you. I wasn't going to do one, but this just fell into my lap, and I said, why not? So thanks for joining Political Talk with Charlotte. It typically airs on Thursdays, but when there are special events that I need to discuss with you, here I am. I feel very strongly that my community only gets one side of the story. So I'm going to present to you the other side of the story. And then you choose ultimately what you choose to believe. But I hope that while I'm sharing with you the other side of the story, you will take out your trusty, dusty cell phone and do some searches and read some articles and find out for yourself. You can reach me at charlottebergman.com if you have any questions about what I'm discussing today. Or you can reach me on my profile page for Facebook, Elect Bergman. I'm sorry, that is my fan page, and it's going to go through some changes, but as it stands right now, it is Elect Bergman, which is my Facebook page. And then my profile page is charlotte.bergman.9. That's at charlotte.bergman.9. And on Bitchute, because we upload this show after the show ends to Bitchute at Political Talk with Charlotte. Then this show is uploaded to Twitter at Elect Bergman, at Elect Bergman. And on YouTube, it is still at Bergman for Congress, at Bergman for Congress, and twitch.com, at Charlotte Bergman. Guys, if you're new to this channel, please leave a comment or subscribe or share my video, especially if you think it's interesting. Also, as you subscribe to my show on YouTube, they'll open it up so that you will be able to make some comments. Yes, YouTube will open my YouTube channel up the more people I have that are subscribed or like or share my content. And then we air on Rumble. We've had some problems with Rumble, but we have a workaround. I'm of the contention if plan A doesn't work, we go to plan B and plan C if needed. I just ask you to join us and help us to grow. And I love you for that. And I love you, period, because of who you are. And I appreciate you. And please share your comments and share my videos so that we can grow. Let's get my messages out. I want to remind you guys, I do have a book, and I would appreciate it if you would support me by purchasing the book, The Last Trumpet in the Battle for America. We are in the last trumpet era for the Battle for America. And as of Tuesday, a couple of weeks ago, we dodged not one, not two, but 3 bullets. Yeah. We, along with President Trump, dodged a bullet to his ear, then dodged a bullet when the guy wanted to shoot him at Mar-a-Lago. And then we dodged a bullet of Kamala Harris and her continuation of the Biden fiasco administration. You know, this Biden administration is going to go down in history. And have you ever wondered why, just why did we get off into this situation in our country where we were doing the he, she, he, him, and all of those types of things, actually changing our country. Guys, the Bible means a lot to me, and those things did not line up with the Bible. As a matter of fact, it was causing things to become worse in our country. So before I get into this, I want to give you sort of an idea of the types of people that led the Biden administration and brought to us some of these weird thoughts and ideas. Do you recognize some of these people? If you don't recognize them right now, don't worry about it. I'm going to talk to you about these people. Some of these people actually contributed to the condition of our country when we slid into amoral, an amoral lifestyle. There were people that Biden invited to the White House lawn, and what they do, they expose their breastises. There was a comedian that we used to call them breastises, but expose their breasts. And then if you see this image of the guy's back, he's in the White House. I mean, he's in Congress, and he's having himself, well, he's doing something you shouldn't do publicly. And his actions were caught on camera. Now, were there any repercussions about him screwing in the White House, creating sex tapes in the Senate building? I mean, not White House, but the Senate building. The Capitol Police investigated it, but nothing was done, because nothing was ever done during the Biden administration. So anyway, we are living with the consequences of, first of all, probably not getting out and voting before, or voting and not knowing who you're voting for and what their character was. I hope we are learning better, because I'm going to discuss a little bit more about what we have encountered. So don't forget that picture, guys. There are some people that you recognize on that picture. As a matter of fact, one of the people who definitely fit into that picture very adequately is our very own Steve Cohen. You guys don't know about him, but there is a lot you need to be researching him about. He definitely fits into the Biden administration very appropriately. Okay, so let's dive into what I want to talk about. I've got several videos. I woke up this morning, the first video I saw was talking about President Trump's administration, his cabinet that he's putting together. And I mean, every day I wake up and I'm anticipating more and more names, more and more people that are listed to his cabinet. But before we can actually gauge his cabinet and discuss his cabinet, let's talk about Biden's cabinet. Okay, Biden, is it showing up? Okay, it's not showing up. So Biden's cabinet. This is a close-up of some of the people that were in Biden's cabinet. This is Cambry. And she says, every time some whining liberals throw a fit online or on TV about Trump's cabinet, shove their own pics back in their faces. See, these two men, yeah, guys, I know it's deceiving. They really are men. These two men played very important roles in the Biden administration. We're going to discuss exactly what their role is. But the one that's on your right, Sam Brinton, he was, guys, this guy served in the Biden administration as a nuclear official. Yes, that means he was pretty close to the nuclear weaponry in the United States. But this guy It's weird. This guy was caught stealing luggage. Let's see if you can see the next video. So the next picture. When somebody mentions to you and say, well, Trump's team, this is disgusting, because the liberals are really upset about who President Trump has selected. So if somebody mentions the one that everybody has a problem with, Matt Gaetz, you just let them know that these were the people who were selected. And not only were they selected, they were confirmed. They were confirmed by many Republicans in the Senate. From what I'm understanding, there are a number of Republicans that are going to try to not confirm Matt Gaetz. But if you know anything about President Trump like I do, he not only he has plan A, plan B, and plan C. So we've got John Thune, who was elected during a closed door vote to be the the majority leader in the Senate. He took McConnell's place. Did he take McConnell's place? He was McConnell's right-hand man. So is he going to separate himself from McConnell? Let's wait and see. Mitch McConnell is still in the Senate, and he still has a voice, and he still has a vote. But how much is he going to influence John Thune? I don't know. Here's some more pictures of the people. Sorry, guys, I have to do this to you. And yes, I'm enjoying it. These are pictures of who the Republicans actually, they approved the nomination. They said Joe Biden deserves to have his own cabinet picks. So here are some more of Joe Biden's people. You saw these two. Here's some more. Let me scroll on down so you can see. Oh, in the bottom right-hand corner, that is Pete Buttigieg. Yes, you're saying correctly. This is a guy who actually thinks he is a woman, and he and his boyfriend or his husband adopted a child. And this guy, who was serving in the Biden administration, took over a month off from his work. He's Secretary of Transportation. Took time off to breastfeed a baby, to get the baby acclimated to that lifestyle. This is why our children are so confused in terms of trying to figure out, are they men or women? Should they have a breast? Shouldn't they have a breast? Should they have a private part? Shouldn't they have a private part? These people are setting examples for our children to further confuse our children, to cause them to wonder, what am I? What am I? The Biden administration was full of DEI people, and they were proud of it, really proud of it. But they're hurting our nation. Okay, I'm going to move on. And bring up the next video that I have for you concerning Biden's cabin. And I'd like for you to listen to what they have to say here. Okay?
New administration.
President Biden has tapped 3 high-level federal employees who are also sexual minorities. Pete Buttigieg will become the Transportation Secretary. Dr. Rachel Levine will become the Assistant Secretary of Health and Human Services. And Sean Skelly on the Department of Defense.
Okay, let me tell you guys about these people. Let's roll it back just a little bit. This guy was married. He's a high official in the Biden administration. And he became a man. I'm sorry. He did become a man, but he changed himself to a woman. He's so confused. And he is Secretary of Health and Human Services. Secretary of Health and Human Services. Now, what do we got? We got a man who doesn't know if he's a man or a woman. We got a man who is overweight, yet he is in charge of Health and Human Services. Give me a break. Let's go on and listen to what is being said.
Secretary of Health and Human Services, and Sean Skelly on the.
All right, Sean Skelly. Sean Graham Skelly, came from Virginia. He's Assistant Secretary of Defense. Assistant Secretary of Defense in Joe Biden's administration. This particular person is the one who led Biden's transition team. And we all know that many of us tend to lean toward people that are more like us. This particular person looks like a woman, but he actually is a man. He's a man, but he looks more like a woman than some of the others in Biden administration.
Department of Defense transition team. Diversity consultant Chichi Nkemere says this is progress.
That you can be elevated to these positions without being tokenized. You can be elevated to these positions, and other people, allies, advocates, accomplices, will also notice your good works.
Their jobs highlight their knowledge, skill, and expertise. And Phyllis Harris with LGBT Cleveland says it will have a big impact on young people.
Little LGBT kids who are questioning or who know who they are, they're learning and they're watching and they're seeing.
So they admitted themselves. They're impacting our young people, our young kids.
Themselves, and these recent assignments are a testament to what is possible.
Bethany Studenik with Enlightened Solutions says some adults will also have to adapt to accepting these new leaders.
This is about respecting people's humanity. It's about respecting their ability to assert their own freedom, right? So even if you have different beliefs about this, even if you have different thoughts about this, this is not about you.
Even with this progress, Harris says the LGBT community has a long way to go for equal rights.
It is not going to change overnight. There's still going to be work to do. We still don't have federal protections.
But for now, she celebrates.
I'm feeling Black joy, Black queer joy, Black Cleveland queer joy.
Now, President Biden promised when he was a candidate that he would have the most diverse staff ever, and it looks like he's trying to deliver on that promise.
All right, guys. If you want to live that lifestyle, that's your business. The problem is they've been shoving it down our throats for the last 4 years. They've been shoving it down our throats by virtue of the fact that they're also shoving it down our children's throat. I have a problem with that. Let's see some more. Let's see some more. Here is Pete in his finest attire. There he is. What is that thing he has strapped across his shoulder? Can you see it yet? Can you see it yet? That is so pathetic. That's what Biden's administration looked like. Let's see what more we have. I pulled up all of these videos, and I'll tell you, I don't quite remember exactly what it was that I was pulling up, but let's see this together, and let's see what it says here.
Metro issued a felony warrant on December 8th for Sam Brinton. Brinton is charged for ground.
Yes, Sam Brinton. This guy was charged with grand theft, larceny. He worked as an officer of nuclear energy, and police ID'd him after seeing a news report that he was a thief. He stole female luggage so he can wear them. And not only did he steal them, he wore them publicly.
Grand larceny with a value between $1,500 and $5,000. The 35-year-old worked for the Office of Nuclear Energy. According to the warrant, a woman who had traveled from Dulles International Airport outside Washington, D.C. to Harry Reid on July 6th couldn't find her luggage. She filed a police report on the 10th. Police identified Brinton as the suspect after seeing a news report about a luggage theft at the Minneapolis-St. Paul International Airport on September 16th.
So if anybody says anything about Trump's picks, you remind them of the cabinet members who have represented us for the past 4 years. I'm not so sure that they should be so sanctimonious and try to judge Trump's picks with as much scrutiny as they are now, because they didn't do the same for Joe Biden's picks. Okay, so what do we have here? Well, it looks like we've got some of Trump's cabinet members here. Let's start off with, let's see. Can you identify some of these cabinet members? I looked at this and I thought, okay, who are these cabinet members? I think you're going to enjoy this. I'm just trying to set the screen up and set the scenario up so that you can appreciate who you are seeing on the screen. But several of the people I recognize, like I recognize Vivek, I recognize Elon Musk, I recognize President Trump, I recognize Tulsi Gabbard, I recognize Robert F. Kennedy Jr., I recognize Pete Hegseth. Okay, somebody help me with his name. I'll look up his name. But the one in the blue jacket and the white pants, I suppose they're trying to show that is our new AG. You decide. Okay. I hope you enjoyed that. I just played that for the humor that it brings, because we can't be serious all the time. But here's one of my favorite people, Terrence William. I've met him a few times in Washington, D.C. He is a character. He's going to comment on how people are receiving our new AG. And listen, don't get it twisted. Gates, once he was nominated, he took it seriously enough that he turned in his retirement. He turned in his resignation for his congressional seat. He's serious. I believe that President Trump is serious. And I'm going to tell you right now, I believe he's going to be, I really believe with all my heart, I believe he is going to be the next AG. And I'm going to discuss a little bit about what he's planning to do with that in that position.
Y'all, Matt Gaetz. Oh my goodness. Donald Trump, our next president of these United States of America. The president-elect Donald Trump announced that Matt Gaetz will be the next Attorney General.
Matt Gaetz is no pushover. And Terrence Williams knows that. And he thinks it's hilarious. I don't think it's hilarious. The Democrats who have been crooked in Washington, D.C., aren't going to think it's hilarious either. As a matter of fact, they are running scared.
Y'all do not understand how great this is. Matt Gaetz is not coming to play. Oh, yeah. I know the left is running scared right now. The Democrats are running scared. Matt Gaetz is not going to play. He is going to do what is right for this country, and he will make sure to wipe out all of this corruption. Let's go, baby.
Okay, guys, do you all remember some of the things that have been happening in our country? I had a good friend by the name of Herman Cain. And every time, for the most part, anytime we would get a person who is running for a position who is Republican, the Democrats use their same playbook all the time. They use the same playbook for my people. And what is their playbook for against my people? They say they're going to put y'all back in chains. They say you're going to lose your ability to vote. They say they're going to lynch you. They say you need to be scared because these racist people are coming to get you. I want you guys to know it. In 2024, and ever since the 20th century, when the Constitution was, amendments were added, the 13th, 14th, and 15th amendments, our freedoms were guaranteed as Black people. Yeah, I had great grandparents who were slaves, but they won't be slaves anymore because of those amendments. Unfortunately, because civics is not taught in the schools anymore, anytime a Democrat says the word racist, my people run for the cover, run for the hills. And they got to get over doing that. They got to stop. And then, first of all, maybe they could benefit from having the true Constitution explained to them. But let's get into what Matt Gaetz is going to do, because we just, for the past almost 10 years, we've had an out of control FBI, CIA, DOJ. We spent this past summer having President Trump being accused of everything under the sun. My dear friend Herman Cain was accused of having affairs. And this is what I've noticed that the Democrats use often. They accuse our candidates, they accuse people of having affairs. And what happens? They engage in liable accusations all the time. They get away with it all the time. Well, it's got to stop, guys. It's got to stop. And people like me who have shows can tell the truth. And that's the reason that this election went the way it did, because there were people like me and other people like Joe Rogan and various other people who were content creators who told the truth. And fortunately, there were people that listened to us. But let me show you a little bit about this guy, Matt Gaetz. And Terrence Williams was laughing. And it's because Matt does not play. Matt is pretty fearless. Okay, we're going to start with some of the things that Matt is going to say. And Matt is not just someone that will go out the Democrats who have done some things that are wrong. He will go out the Republicans too. He actually went after Kevin McCarthy. He expects for people who serve the people in this country. He expects for leaders who serve the people in this country to do what they're supposed to do, to make the right decisions in terms of policies and what they vote for. McCarthy, according to Matt, wasn't doing what he was supposed to. Okay, so let's get started.
It's
Donald John
Trump.
So let me set this up for you. This is a vote which was conducted in the House of Representatives. It was Democrats as well as Republicans voting. On your left-hand side, it shows the number of votes each candidate received. At this point in the discussion, McCarthy had received 62 votes. Jeffrey, who is the Democrat minority leader, received 65 votes. Donalds out of Florida received 7 votes. And Matt Gaetz just stood up very boldly and voted for Donald John Trump to be the Speaker of the House. So let's keep going.
Gallagher.
Oh, let me just say this. Matt Gaetz had a smirk on his face after he made that vote.
Gallagher. McCarthy. Gallego. Jeffries. Garamendi.
Attorney General, you've told us that it's a dangerous conspiracy theory to allege that the department...
All right, they are in committee now. This is a Justice Department oversight, and Matt Gaetz is talking.
of Justice is communicating with these state and local prosecutions against Trump. You can clear it all up for us right now. Will the Department of Justice provide to the committee all documents, all correspondence between the department and Alvin Bragg's office and Fonnie Willis's office and Letitia James's office?
Guys, look at there. Who is he interviewing? He is interviewing and questioning the Attorney General, the guy whose position he will replace. And I'm going to say right now, I believe very strongly Matt Gaetz is going to be the next Attorney General. Merrick Garland, who is currently the Attorney General, who is going out with this administration, turned out to be extremely crooked. And he unleashed the DOJ. He weaponized the Department of Justice. He used to be a judge. And we went through a whole series of accusations and indictments as a result of this man right here. And it's ironic that Matt Gaetz is interviewing him right now on this video.
The offices you're referring to are independent offices of state.
I get that. I get that. The question is whether or not you will provide all of your documents and correspondence. That's the question. I don't need a history lesson.
Well, I'm going to say again, we do not control those offices. They make their own decisions.
The question is whether you communicate with them, not whether you control them. Do you communicate with them, and will you provide those communications?
If you make a request, we'll refer it to our Office of Legislative Affairs.
But see, here's the thing. You come in here and you lodge this attack that it's a conspiracy theory, that there is coordinated lawfare against Trump. And then when we say, fine, just give us the documents, give us the correspondence, and then if it's a conspiracy theory, that will be evident. But when you say, well, we'll take your request, and then we'll sort of work it through the DOJ's accommodation process, then you're actually advancing the very dangerous conspiracy theory that you're concerned about. I'm sitting here with my father. I will make certain that between the man sitting next to me and every person he...
Okay, this is another scene. Matt Gaetz is still doing what he does best. He is in committee and he is questioning the Attorney General. I think that's who it is, the Attorney General. His next question is about Hunter Biden, just in case you didn't know.
He knows in my ability to forever hold a grudge that you will regret not following my direction. I am sitting here waiting for the call with my father. Sounds like a shakedown, doesn't it, Director?
I'm not going to get into commenting on that.
My bad. That was FBI Director Christopher Wray. President Trump has already named someone to No, he hasn't named anybody to take over FBI director yet. I don't think. We'll discuss that further.
You seem deeply uncurious about it, don't you?
But in my personal opinion, Ray has got to go. He's a traitor.
Almost suspiciously uncurious. Are you protecting the Bidens?
Absolutely not. The FBI
Well, you
does
won't
not
answer the
has
question.
no
Hold on.
interest in
You won't answer the
protecting
question
anyone
about whether or not
politically.
that's a shakedown, and everybody knows why you won't answer it. Because to the millions of people who will see this, they know it is, and your inability to acknowledge that is deeply revealing. The court said it was over 200,000 that have occurred on your watch. Do you have any basis to disagree with that assessment?
Again, I don't have the numbers as I sit here right now. What I can
Seems
tell
like
you,
a number you should know. How many times the FBI is breaking the law under your watch, especially if it's like over 1 million, to not know that number? And I'm worried about your veracity on the subject as well. Play the video.
letters for
you going to the
investigation
FISA
of
court?
the Capitol.
Or are you
I don't
going to-
believe FISA is remotely implicated in our investigation.
So there, Senator Lee's asking you whether or not FISA was in any way involved in your January 6th investigation, and you say no. Was that truthful?
I said that I did not believe it was.
Okay, so now let's pull up what the court said, which was something a little different than what you said. So here, nope, that's not the right one. Yeah, here we go, right there. It says, the government has reported additional significant violations of the querying standard, including several relating to the January 6, 2021 breach of the Capitol. So I guess the question, Director Wray, is did you not know when you were answering these questions that the FBI was engaging in these illegal searches, or did you perjure yourself to Senator Lee?
I certainly didn't perjure myself. At the time that I testified in front of the Senate Judiciary Committee, I didn't have that piece of information. I will add...
Well, that was a court order. You didn't have that piece of information because the court hadn't yet rendered it. What you've done to execute this Mayorkas doctrine, where so long as you don't commit a crime, you get to stay here and burden our hospitals, burden our schools.
Alexandria Mayorkas. Let's say goodbye to him.
Burden our social services, burden our jails. You've sent the message to the cartels, and then you've taken this app and you've digitized illegal immigration and you've scaled it to the moon. Like this app that you've got everybody downloading is like the Disney fast pass into the country, never to be subject to actual removal, just removal proceedings, as you call them. That app doesn't do any search of their criminal history in their home country, does it?
Congressman, I disagree with everything you have said.
Well, I'm sure, but just to answer the question, does the app that you are out there promoting do any search of people's criminal history in their home country?
Congressman, Customs and Border Protection screens and vets individuals whom they encounter.
Your app, it either has the functionality to test their criminal history in their home country or it doesn't. By the way, if it did, you'd have already told me. It doesn't.
We are here today to authoritatively express that President Trump did not commit an insurrection, and we believe Congress has a unique role in making that declaration. It's not the job of the states, and especially not the job of some bureaucrats in Colorado, to make this assessment and interfere with the rights of voters to cast their vote for the candidate of their choice.
This guy is a young fighter. He definitely is a fighter. So watch him. Now, let me give you a little bit more information about him. Some people think he's, there's nothing to him. I want you guys to see some of the, little bit of the tougher side of him. He will take no prisoners. He earned a law degree from the College of William and Mary in 2007 and was admitted into the Florida bar in 2008. He worked for the law firm Anchors Gordon, previously known as Keefe, Anchors and Gordon in Fort Walton Beach, which is part of his congressional district. Gate took on several cases. He has won at least a couple of appellate cases for his clients. He definitely has he seems to be a warrior to me. I would say when people ask you and laugh about Gates as being a serious contender for the Attorney General's position, you let them know that if they voted for Biden's Attorney General and his people, then Gates should be easy. It should be a shoe-in. Now, what I want to show you now is sort of an overview of all of these people who have been nominated as of yet for President Trump's cabinet. Good. That shows up very well. Good. So we have President Trump, who has promised to make America great again. That means he cannot bring in the people into his administration who would be afraid to make decisions. I've been to Washington, D.C. before. I've been involved in many of those parties. And all I say is make sure that you don't drink at least more than a glass of wine if that's what you want. And always, when you go to your hotel room, you go by yourself or you go with the people that you came to the party with. You keep yourself out of trouble, and they won't be able to get any blackmail material on you. Pete Hegseth, Governor Kristi Noem. Let me see if I can enlarge this and give you the positions that they have been nominated for. Just give me a second here. Okay. Pete Hegseth has been nominated as Secretary of Defense. He is good. He's had a lot of experience, and he definitely appreciates our veterans. So he's been nominated as Secretary of Defense. Governor Kristi Noem is going to be DHS Secretary. She's going to be she's nominated for that position. I believe all of these people are going to get in. Mike Huckabee, he's nominated for Israel Ambassador. William McGinley, White House Counsel. He would be advising President Trump. John Ratcliffe. I've followed this guy. He is smooth. He's been nominated as CIA Director. Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy, they are both going to serve in a very, very important role. And many of you already know this, but they're going to slice. They're going to get rid of a lot of fat, a lot of excess spending that this Congress has been spending all of these years and putting us further and further into debt. We're rolling on up to $36 trillion. Let them get in there and cut the fat. Tulsi Gabbard, she is going to be the Director of National Intelligence. Susie Wiles, Chief of Staff, she has a camaraderie with President Trump. And if you notice, most of these people who have been nominated are people that President Trump has worked with before, and he trusts them, and he values trust. Mike Waltz, White House National Security Advisor. Lee Zeldin, he is going to be an ambassador. EPA, EPA Administrator. Cool, good, that's good. Stephen Miller, I've known Stephen Miller for a number of years. I met him in 2016. Tom Homan, now this is the man. This guy is going to be the border czar. He's not going to be a phony border czar. He is someone you don't play with. At least Stefanik, she's going to be the UN ambassador. Good for her. Marco Rubio, Secretary of State. Matt Gaetz, Attorney General. Robert F. K. Jr. is going to be HHS Secretary. He's going to be working to make sure that we're not those excessive injections that Big Pharma wants to give our children. There's going to be some control placed on those. Doug Burgum, Department of Interior. Doug Collins, Secretary of Veterans Affairs. And John Sauer, he is going to be Solicitor General. He is going to, when there are problems that are going to occur and they're going to have to be sent to the Supreme Court, he's going to be the one that's going to be speaking for the administration in front of the Supreme Court. I hope you guys enjoyed this. This was longer than I anticipated, but thank you for joining me today. I appreciate it. Please share my video. Let people know what's going on, and for them not to be suckered into believing whatever someone has come up with that is trying to destroy President Trump's attempt to make America great again. When he ran, he said that was his goal, to make America great again. The American people believed him, gave him a mandate. That means that they want what he has planned for them. They want lower gas prices, lower food prices, lower rent prices, lower home prices, lower insurance prices. They want an America that they can afford to live in. And with the tariffs, don't let anybody fool you. With the tariffs that are going to be placed on foreign countries and businesses that are conducting business outside of the country, once they realize that this cash cow, the American people, you can't continue selling to them and charging them an arm and a leg without a tariff being imposed on you 100%. You're going to be losing money, and you're going to bring your businesses home. And that's what they need to be. So I'm Charlotte Bergman. I'm signing off. I've enjoyed sharing this information to you. Every day I wake up, I'm more and more excited about what is going to be, who is going to join the cabinet of President Trump. I tell you, just recently, it was announced that, I won't get into that yet. I'll get into that at another time. But he's still adding to his cabinet. And I'm excited because I really feel that what he's doing, he's not following the conventional way. And yes, when you hear people, especially Elizabeth Warren, complaining that he is not doing things conventionally, you understand that, first of all, he does not trust these agencies. The FBI, the CIA will come back with stuff on his candidates, his nominees, that really may not be true, but they will push that negative information and they will start trying to weaken President Trump. Let's keep President Trump strong as he's going in to fight for us, to fight for our nation, so that prices can come down and we can live our lives in such a way that we haven't experienced during these last 4 years. Biden's administration was a disaster for us. So let's support President Trump, get his administration, his cabinet members in place so that he can go ahead immediately and work for us. Thank you. I will talk to you guys soon. I don't know when I'll be back, but I do appreciate you guys listening to my show. I love you. I thank you. You guys have a blessed weekend. I hope you go and continue to pray for our nation, continue to pray for God's hand and blessing upon our nation. You guys take care. Bye now.